So, we had technical difficulties this morning, but we are here. We are live, and we are, well, when you see us, we won't be live. But we are alive, all praises. We are live right now, and are you ready to tell them what this episode is about?
Well, first, I just want to welcome you to your regularly scheduled DeProgrammed, because I'm Jason Roberts, aka CONQUEST, and you are.
I have to laugh, but I just wanted to do like a trailer thingy. But I did know we were going to do our introduction. I wouldn't leave them hanging like that. You would think I would leave them hanging.
Oh, no.
Listen, they know what they're here for. Your regularly scheduled deprogramming.
Yes, yes.
But this episode's not much about deprogramming. This is like more like this stuff that we're about to talk about is pretty cool. And we're excited about it. Yeah. Cool. No, it is.
It is cool.
It's trending. I mean, YouTube and Meta support it. They don't make the metrics for what's cool in the world now.
YouTube and Meta support it.
It's trending topics, so
it's expected.
The world thinks it's cool.
The world thinks it's right, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, man, so listen.
I'm hearing Aparicio.
By the way, yes, I was just waiting for you to introduce your name.
I'm Erin Aparicio, aka Coach Aparicio.
Yeah, man.
And this is
your DeProgrammed podcast.
Insert title card here.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? This could be episode
7.
This
is episode 7.
Or 8.
7.
Depending on where we put it in. 7?
Yeah, it's 7 for sure.
Alright, cool. 7. One of my favorite numbers, if not the favorite number. Cool.
That's gonna be a great one.
Well, that's what we're trying to do for sure. Listen, man, thank y'all for tuning in as usual. Listen, if you've missed the episodes in season 2 that have happened already, feel free to go on back. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like.
And we will put the link somewhere here. Somewhere. Like every other creator, right? Like the link is somewhere around to our last video.
Yeah.
But click on it somewhere.
Yeah, we definitely had some really cool stuff.
Yes.
So far, man, we talked about a lot of things. And a lot of things have been happening in our lives as well. We'll get into that later.
Yes.
But exciting things, for sure. But listen, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. I like to think that for the most part, no two Your DeProgrammed podcast episodes are the same. Now, for the most part, because we've definitely hit certain topics multiple times, certain names have come up in our conversations multiple times, so that's not all the way through. But we like diversity in our podcasting and our programming. I remember one person asked me one time, what is Your DeProgrammed podcast about? Is it a political podcast? Is it a music podcast? Is it a pop culture podcast? Is it a spiritual podcast? There is no one definition.
I would say so.
It's our podcast. It's the podcast we want to do. And the one thing that's consistent about our podcast is the deprogramming that we try to bring you into. That's probably the most consistent thing. So it's deprogramming when it comes to sports. It's deprogramming when it comes to politics. It's deprogramming when it comes to pop culture and music. It's deprogramming when it comes to anything that we want to talk about. It's deprogramming if we want to talk about space exploration and how people went up into space, presumably a couple of days ago, and presumably went around the world and came. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I didn't really see that.
I've seen that. Katy Perry, Gail King, probably went around the world and you know.
No. Because they've been around the world.
Presumably.
And
See,
when they landed, it was
We'll save that for this time, man. Because we're going to touch that too. We're going to touch that whole thing.
We're going to touch how that door opened.
Yeah, man. But listen.
Why Jeff? Listen.
What's up?
No, I'm saying, why Jeff there? Ladies. But this is what makes deprogramming, I feel, very unique, is that it's completely unscripted, guys. There is no thing that we're basically going by other than like the agendas and the items that we want to talk about per episode. But that's basically it. So you get us at our most authentic. I think that's very, very unique. You get us kind of just going off the cuff like this. I didn't even know that CONQUEST I didn't even know he saw that. Like, we talk about everything.
I've been going crazy. There's a lot of things I see. A lot of things, even though, you know, we both are at a very high apex when it comes to the individual things that we're doing. So we don't get to talk as much as we'd like to.
The podcast is that room for us as well.
Yeah.
So we, again, thank you guys for tuning in. And what you're basically seeing is us giving each other our perspectives on things and then hopefully sharing that perspective with you guys.
Two best friends chatting.
Yes. Absolutely. That is what the podcast is, if anything.
Two best friends chatting. You know what I'm saying? So what about chatting about?
Encouraging conversation. Because this episode, particularly, we are titling Attack of the Geek. So, if anyone knows the reference to that movie, that's what, 80s? I believe that's 80s or something. Like, that's an old little movie.
Yeah.
But
Attack of the Geek, Revenge of the Nerds.
Because as we know, nerd culture and geek culture has become the trending culture in a lot of places of the world. And that includes some of my favorite topics: comics, anime, superheroes,
sci-fi,
fantasy, dystopia. It has been such a boom, and we talk about this so much off camera, but we wanted to dedicate a special episode to this part of our culture and part of our lives.
Part of our personalities, to be honest.
Yes.
Because I know that gaming, all that falls under that too, I believe.
Yes, gaming as well.
Yeah, so, you know.
I'm a huge gamer girl.
I think we are both in that, for sure. I think that we are both in varying degrees. Like, Ari's much more of a gamer than I am. Ari is much more of an anime fan than I am. But it's the things that, you know, I can grow to love and appreciate even more now that I have Ari as a friend, and I can kind of like go into that world. So this is very exploratory in that way. And yeah, man, I think my first introduction to anything sci-fi was being in Trinidad and catching like Star Trek episodes on TV, going with my school, my primary school, Rosary Boys RC School. That's how I'm taking it back to y'all, man. In Trinidad, if you're Trinidad, you know the school I just mentioned, and we all went on a field trip and we watched Star Wars Return of the Jedi. That was my first movie theater experience, and that definitely framed a lot of my love for movies from since then. So yeah, and then it's just only increased from there, you know, comic books, Marvel, DC, all that stuff, and just my love for movies and film and just great storytelling, whether it's in a fantasy realm or a realistic realm. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that culture as well. So there's been a lot of cool things that's been happening. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll say this as a side note. I feel like there's going to be a part 2 of this for sure, and I know just the guy to bring in. There's a friend of mine, he's a Christian hip-hop artist known as Just Raised, and he does this all the time. He talks about this all the time. If he's not promoting his music, he is talking all the developments within DC, Marvel, X-Men 97. Yeah, he's breaking it down there. So I feel like the next time we do this, we need to bring him in.
Okay.
We need to bring him in, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So Just Right, shout out to you, man. That's my personal invitation to you. But the shows I really want to get into, that we want to get into, I want to touch on something I just finally finished.
Let me just put this here.
Yeah.
This is going to be a disclaimer, so we will put a warning somewhere. The show that we're about to discuss, we will probably spoil.
Yeah.
So we're going to put
spoiler
titles.
Alert.
Yes, spoiler alert, huge one. And then each one we will try to segment out into the show so that you can skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers for the show. Okay?
Okay.
So,
Good
take it
luck.
away.
Cool. So I'm going to be discussing Daredevil Born Again, or pretty much the whole Daredevil series, but mainly Daredevil Born Again. The reason why I say the whole series is because I just caught up. Like, prior to 2024, I had not watched an episode ever of Daredevil, which I know is insane in retrospect, but I actually caught up with everything once I knew that Daredevil Born Again. So I'm going to talk on that, and Ari is going to break down slightly 2 shows. One I plan to watch, probably this weekend when I actually have some real downtime. Black Mirror, and another show known as Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days. Okay.
Right, but as we're going through the segments, we'll say it again, just so that people couldn't think it. So we're going to start off with
Daredevil Born Again.
Daredevil. So,
all right,
take it away.
Well, first of all, again, I have to pinch myself, slap myself silly, whatever I gotta do for the fact that I wasn't up on Daredevil earlier. I think it is a brilliant series for so many reasons. Yeah, it's very true and very very authentic as far as a comic book series goes that's brought to real life. Action scenes are amazing. The storyline is amazing. But I think what really blew me away was the level of acting in this series. You know, you got Charlie Cox, who plays Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, brilliant actor. I think he's British, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. So he's the British ones, right?
I was saying maybe, but we could definitely fact check that. Yes. I went up on Wikipedia and I said, well,
we'll fact check it. But yeah, Charlie's dope from day one. He's captivated from day one. I really love the fact that he's having an internal fight as far as like resisting his fleshy impulses to seek vengeance, kill, murder, destroy those who went against him, but he's still fighting it based on his background. And you see it all through the show. You see the push and the pull. You see those moments and you feel it. You know, when he lost his best friend in Born Again, you feel it. When you see the relationship that he's trying to forge with Karen, you feel it, you know. The back and forth with Kingpin, Fisk, you feel it. The guy who plays Wilson Fisk, Vincent
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. We're butchering your name. I'm so sorry.
Incredible actor.
I actually was a fan of him from Law and Order: Criminal Intent. That's where I first discovered him. And I just thought he had a very eccentric and very unique acting style. And I think that what he does as Kingpin is just otherworldly. It's like probably one of the best villains I've ever seen. The whole cast is just super, 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 super amazing. And the story, man, it's just like seeing how Wilson Fisk, how he got to where he is, what motivates him, how he moves, how he manipulates the system, and just the pure, unadulterated violence he displays when he does not get his way. It's shocking. Yes, and it's shocking. Yes, that's literally it. He is throwing a tantrum that is dismembering you in the process.
So, what is your favorite? Since you caught up, what would you say is your favorite seasons? Whether it be the Daredevil before it came to Netflix entirely, and Daredevil Born Again, and then what's your favorite moments?
So I guess it's 4 in total, right? About 4 episodes in total.
Of the new series, or
just the series in general?
Oh, just 4 seasons.
Yeah, it's 4 seasons in general.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 4 seasons. Yeah, 4 seasons. I think they're all great, man. It's really hard. I think the second season was really interesting because a lot of things was just coming into the scene where it's like Daredevil's old girlfriend shows up and we get introduced to the Punisher. That might be my favorite, actually. Second season, when we get the Punisher played by John Bernthal, who's actually going to be in one of my favorite movies or favorite sequels. I'm anticipating that he's going to be one of my favorite sequels coming up because he's going to be in The Accountant too with Ben Affleck. So, and he's amazing.
That comes out this weekend.
Yeah.
So the timestamp us a little bit. That comes out this weekend. And I'm super excited for the sequel. That is...
Because I love the first Accountant.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing actor. He did Walking Dead. He did Wolf of Wall Street. He just has such an... And Punisher, I think, is the role he takes off with. Like, he has an incredible range. you can't help but think of him as the villain on screen, but he has a really good nuance of the sympathetic villain, basically. Shane in The Walking Dead, that was a great performance. Wolf of Wall Street, he was like the funny comic relief, but also sympathetic at the end. I think he drug overdosed or something. So yeah, he just has this. He knows the roles that are made for him. Like I don't think he's been miscasted in any shape or part throughout his career. Yeah,
he's brilliant as Punisher for sure. I think.
Yeah, Punisher brings that too.
And I love the fact that Punisher and Daredevil are often pitted alongside each other because it's like they represent the thing that they dislike about themselves the most on each side. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
in their hypocrisy.
Daredevil's like, I hate the fact that you kill so easy. And I'm sure the Punisher's like, I hate the fact that you soft. In your own way, you spare people. You know what I'm saying? So I love the dichotomy of that. Wrapping up really quickly though, I mean, there's so much I can say, but I feel like
favorite moment.
Favorite moments, definitely. These are the things that stand out to me. The fights that Daredevil and Punisher have are always favorite moments. I love the love affair that Fisk has with his eventual wife. I feel like that brings out a side of him that you feel for. Even though it's surrounded by violence.
Yes.
And even though Homegirl is still is a force herself, I believe her name. Yes, Vanessa. How could I forget? The way even says it's Vanessa. You know what I'm saying? Vanessa is a wild one herself, and you kind of like watch her ascent. Yes, because of the fact that she came in as an art dealer, not even thinking I want to be in this life that Wilson is in, and then she just exponentially just turns into this thing that is suited alongside him. Even the way they dealt with the affair that Vanessa had, where homeboy who that Vanessa dealt with was caged by Fisk. That was interesting
and they
too.
had dinner with his blood splatter on the wall as like a portrait, like a backdrop to their love.
Very comic book, but very real at the same time. Like they really do a good job of bringing things that seem only likely in comic books or animation to life in a real setting. Like the juxtaposition is really well done in that. And I think I see a lot of that more so in Born Again. I feel like Born Again, they ramped up a lot of things. They ramped up the violence, they ramped up the stakes, the way it was shot. It was very interesting because I was just like, hey, am I looking at a real scene caught in life, or is it a comic book? Like the way it's just very interesting. I don't have the technical terms for it, but especially when it came to the fight scene between Daredevil and the guy, the mercenary guy, the guy he threw off the roof.
I can't remember his name. I think it's like Blue something.
Something. I'm just finding it right now. Bullseye.
Yes.
Bullseye. Yeah.
But he has a blue outfit, I believe, in the comics, and that's why every time you see him or they're going to introduce him on a scene, you see the blue kind of wash over the scene. Like when he shot, when he aimed to shoot Fisk and he shot Murdoch, and there was a wash of blue. You didn't know who he was on the thing, but you knew that it was him, and you knew he had his sights focused and he don't miss.
No.
So even that scene was really tense, because the fact that you're a superhero or anti-hero and you save the life of your arch nemesis, and then the next episode he talks about killing you to make you a martyr of the mission he has as mayor. I'm just like, this dude, you can't even save his life and not be a target. Like, there was no one who's done that. But I honestly thought Vanessa was going to be the one who got shot.
Yeah.
They did such a great job building the tension of that scene. That was one of my
I thought Vanessa was out of here.
Yeah. Because how they were building it up, because they said, she hired Bullseye to take out Murdoch's best friend.
Yeah.
And then you see him coming back for revenge, and you're just like, well, who he's gonna think, because the only person who crossed him is Vanessa. That's why he's back in jail.
Right.
And he basically goes after, I think, Fist, this is theory, to punish Vanessa.
Yeah.
But I thought he was gonna take out Vanessa. Like the way that they trained, and it's so smooth how the director did this, how they made them switch dancing partners.
Yes.
And then they had Matt talk to Vanessa.
Right.
And they were
and
just like,
this was his current girlfriend.
And then Vanessa admitted that she knew that he was Daredevil, and you saw the intensity in his face. Like, I will, like you said, the inner conflict. Like, man, if I was a killer. Like, if you were talking to the Punisher, it would be no hesitation. Like, you would have been wiped off.
We would be talking.
We would not be talking. We probably would be dancing.
We would be talking.
But
right.
that scene was a solid stand-up for me. It was a really brilliant part of the season. Even the talk with him and Bullseye in jail, when you start getting battle with him only for him to crack a tooth and get out with a broken tooth. I'm like, where the creativity? These writers just be like, I'm just like, did that happen in the comments? He got out of jail, guys, with a broken tooth.
There was definitely exactly.
That's insane.
How did we do that?
That's crazy.
You know, in one of the earlier seasons, one of my favorite scenes was when Matt Murdock is having the conversation with the FBI agent that Fist manipulated for his own gain, and kind of like really talking to him like, yo, this is why you need to testify.
Yes.
That scene in the boxing gym area, I thought that was a very powerful acting scene between both gentlemen. And again, man, it just shows the incredible range of these shows in terms of acting. Like, I think a lot of people dismiss comic book shows or series based on comic book characters as just fluffy or just lightweight or just, you know, just a lot of action scenes, but no real acting. I think that Daredevil dispels those misconceptions very quickly. Finally, I will say this: one of my favorite things in the series, especially in the last episode, was and this is just a personal favorite thing for me. I just love how at the very end of the finale for this season, how they used Radiohead's "Everything in Its Right Place." My gosh, like with everything that was happening, like that last song that was playing, I was just like, you just hear those chords, those synths. I was like, oh gosh, they're playing Radiohead, and if you knew what the song was about, it just fit everything. It's just like, yo, great. And listen, man, when it comes to making shows and using song choices for shows and certain scenes, that is an underrated skill. And I think they chose perfectly for that particular scene where you saw everything just come together and fall apart. And then also, you know, Daredevil finally re-emerging into the shadows and taking on the mask again, and seeing that now he has his own new task force, and seeing what's going on with Fisk and how he's revolutionizing the government and all that stuff, which could also speak to a lot of things that's happening in real time too. So all that to say, brilliant, fire, A+, super dope, loved it.
Would you go back and rewatch this in a couple years' time, or would it even take years to do it? Season 2 has me highly, like, it's one of my shows to target when it comes back for season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I give it a little bit more time, but yeah, this is a thing that you go back to. It's for me, it's no different from going back to watching Breaking Bad. It's no different from going back to watching Battlestar Galactica, speaking of sci-fi. Have you ever seen Battlestar Galactica?
I have not, but I do know the references. I do know some of the pop culture references to it.
Love. You know, so yeah, I would definitely go back. Okay. Incredible. Glad I finally saw that, man. It took me long enough. But
listen, I try not to spoil it for him, guys, and I will try my hardest transition, because I'm picking up on how he does when he's like, speaking of transitions, I will also try not to spoil these next 2 shows that I'm going to break down.
Okay.
But keep it so soft spoiler, because I can't spoil it for him, I'm not going to spoil it for you too. So my 2 shows, completely different genres, but one is dark sci-fi, and I think this goes without mention. Every time they post a season, it's trending top 10 on Netflix consistently. Probably was number 2 the last time I looked at it in the world today, and that's what I meant to say to Daredevil as well. These things are trending in the world, so like I said at the beginning of this, it's cool now. It's cool now to be the geek. So if you're not into the comics and stuff, again, it's just one of those things to where you can open up about it more and people go like, wow, going back to Conquest's point about the realism.
Yeah, you can almost get vilified for that. Back in the day, it wasn't cool to be... It wasn't cool to be in the comics and stuff like that. It wasn't popular, I would say, but they're doing such a great job of bringing to life how we imagined it as kids. So it's like now it's a broader audience. Now people can understand like, oh, there's some depth to this. It's not just cartoonish. It's, again, Vincent and Vanessa, they are all comic book characters. If you're falling in love with the human iteration of them, please understand that those things were on pages first. So people who knew about this decades before it came to life. This is some people's wildest dreams come true. Is seeing their comics that they grew up on that wasn't popular at the time become this massive success where everyone's just like, wow, we didn't know there was so much depth in it. And speaking of that, dark sci-fi is also another thing that popped up. Trending on Netflix. It is an amazing show. It's been an amazing show. I'm not gonna lie, they slipped up the last 2 seasons a little bit. But this one they came back with a vengeance, and I'm talking about Black Mirror. This show, man, sometimes I really think that they're creating these technologies in a lab somewhere and they're just kind of introducing it to society in a sci-fi way, the science fiction way, so that when we get it, it's just like, well, we can't say that we didn't warn you about it, like we told you it was coming. We told you it was up.
There was a season, you might have saw the season, remember the social media season, where influence became the currency, and every person had a rating. Okay, so soft spoiler for that, but I believe in season 5 or 4, there was an episode so great because we literally live in this today. So just a couple years ago, people were like, no, there's no way. They're walking around in this, like, obviously another reality, another world, and on their phone, every person has a profile and they have a ranking system of a star of 1 to 5. And your ranking in your life is how you get upper mobility in economics. So if I'm ranked a 3.5, I sometimes do not get the best coffee. Some people, and
you're living a 3.5 life.
Yes, and your ranking shows above you. So basically people can look like, oh my gosh, she's a 3.5 and like walk away. Because it's known to everybody. It's not a secret. It's also how you get loans. It's how you get jobs. It's everything. It's your whole dynamics of life. And the story basically plays with the concept of what happens if people don't like you as like a personal brand and how that translates to currency. So the worse your personal brand is the poorer you are. And the better your personal brand is the richer you are. And is that not the reality we are in today? Like we're just like, hey, listen, like if you are popular, you're assumed to be a good person. People want to work with you, give you stuff for free, everything like that. But if they sit here and they see you have 2 followers on TikTok, they're looking at you like,
you ain't nobody.
I don't know who you are. Like, so it's the transition to the personal brand that they were ahead of. And people, you should see the commentary, it's such a timepiece. Because when people saw this episode, they were just like, yo, there's no way. And only like, 5-6 years later, we're in it. Black Mirror has an amazing foresight of just testing the technologies and making it applicable to real life. And this season is true to form. This season, soft spoilers, goes into death and how it would be like to probably everyone who's seen the season knows what I'm talking about. Favorite episode of the season. It explores the concept of death and what happens when you don't reconcile with a person before they die. How do you go back through those feelings? How your emotional state of them can affect your memory of them. Incredible. I'm literally getting chills like talking about it's such an incredible acting performance. It had, what's his name? I'm gonna look it up, edit this out, but I have to give him a shout out. He is so incredible.
Which show has he been in?
He's been in Big Fat Liar when we were kids with the guy who played Malcolm in the Middle. What's his name? Once I say his name, you're gonna know because he's so like famous. Black Mirror. See that stuff? Yes. Where is he? Paul Giamatti.
Oh,
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti's amazing.
Woo! If he don't get an Oscar for this or some type of tele award or something, any Emmy, yes. When I tell you this man's acting had me in tears, it's such a realistic story. So many people live that, where it's just like, man, I should have made right with that person. And then when you find out it's a love story, and they're basically the one who got away. And it was because of his anger that things didn't work out. And it's such a listen. It's one of those things where one of those things where it's just like. JJ and I talk about it all the time. Me being a life coach, but leave people in peace if you're going to leave them at all. Do not leave them in anger because life is so sporadic and life is so unpredictable that you really don't know if you're going to have a chance to make right. You really don't know. And that episode's placed with a concept through technology. And Black Mirror just has a great way of making it just feel so human, even though it's not something that we can live right now.
Right.
But if someone makes a technology for it, you can see it being applicable. Yeah. So that was a standout episode to me. Again, soft spoilers, the concept, the romance, the realism of the emotion, and how it will make you start to tear up. I haven't seen that one comment where people were just like, yo, I was bawling. Soft other spoilers of the season, they go back to all the episodes. They expand on the Tucker universe, so the video game universe. They do a USS Callister episode, and they wrap that up in an amazing way. You'd love it. They also, another standout one was when they played with the concept of this is my favorite one, but it's so triggering. They play with the concept of gaslighting. And they play on you as a viewer, so it actually encourages a double watch of the episode to make sure you didn't go crazy with the character. But it plays with the concept of this technology where everything you say becomes a reality, and it's a technology that's only to you. And what it does is it gaslights the person you're targeting. So it's playing with the concept of gaslighting, but as a technology. So let's just say you told me, Ari, that is not a green. That's not a green curtain in the back. That's a red curtain. Right. And I'm sitting here looking at you like, yo, there's no. I learned colors when I was in kindergarten. Right. I know what green is like. Bro. No, but when I'm saying, let's just say you have the remote, you have the technology, you're like, Ari, I promise you that's red, and I'm just like, dude, you are nuts. Everyone around me is like, Ari, what are you talking about? That is red. And it's gaslighting everything that I know. So it's just like, there is no way y'all think it is like if I pulled Henry in here, and if I pulled John here, or whoever, it'd be like, no, Ari, that curtain is red. We don't know what you're talking about. Green looks like that. And it's like, what? You're just sitting here, you're toying with me. Like, you're just like, yeah, I got her going crazy. It's such a great episode again. It encourages a double watch. The ending could be hit or miss for some people, because it plays with the concept of bullying. It plays with the concept of how far would one go to basically get revenge, or to feel right with their bully, or to get over and retributions on their bullies. And it's a little sad as well because you are rooting for the main character until you realize she was the bully that the other woman was saying. But you feel sympathetic towards both because both of them end up kind of being bad people in a way. But you can, again, human element, you can understand both of them and be like, wow, yeah, make right. I think this whole season is about make right with people when you can. Right, that's and enjoy them while you can. It was such a standout season. I really pray to continue this momentum going into the next season. But Black Mirror is back, everybody. If you haven't given it a chance in the last 2 seasons, definitely give this season a chance. It is great. It's true to form. And yeah, before I go in, if I go in anymore, I am going to start spoiling some plots. So watch it if you love dark sci-fi. Watch it if you love the applicabilities of where AI is going, technology, and how it's going to interact with the human experience. if you haven't given it a watch yet,
it's the one to watch.
Watch it from the first season. There are some highlight episodes that can literally be shows of their own. The concepts they play with are so great.
Okay.
So that's Black Mirror.
Okay.
And then second,
I'm making sure I watch it this weekend.
Oh yeah, listen, I told everyone in the circle about it. I'm still waiting for them, guys. So I don't know what they're waiting for. I'm waiting for them. I'm trying not to spoil it for them, but eventually I'm just going to do it.
Life is just life.
Yeah.
Life is life.
Life is life, and if I slip up cooking spaghetti or something one day, I'm like, yeah, just like Paul said and such and such and such. Don't worry, I'll keep my lips down. I'm not a spoiler like that. I'm not going to do that to them. They have to experience it in true form. Mm-hmm. Second one that I caught up with that I think you guys would really, really enjoy, Sakamoto Days. So I did not know about this anime. It is on Netflix. I did not know about this manga before the anime.
Okay. Explain to people what a manga is.
So a manga is basically the Japanese comic book. So, and I want to be specific to Japan because they do start to say that manga is now an art form. So any country could technically do it, but manga is home to Japan. It is basically the Japanese American comic. Right. So if you're talking about DC and Marvel being a comic book, manga is just comic in Japan. Yeah. So an anime can be standoffish from a manga. It doesn't have to be based off a manga, but anime is a specific art form dedicated to the art style of Japan. Okay. And it just blew up in the last. It's been popular, like Dragon Ball Z is an anime. Right. People know about that. Yeah. You grew up with that. Yeah, for sure. Cowboy Bebop. I'm trying to think of a couple other ones that were really, really popular back in the day that people really like. But Lupin the Third, there's a couple older ones. But again, with the Attack of the Geek and the geeks becoming like a trending culture, the anime just exploded. So there's a lot more mangas that are coming, that are becoming published and coming onto another medium, which is the television. And Sakamoto Days, again, I wasn't aware of this manga, but it is so funny. It is so, it's so crazy of a concept. Like, it could only be a manga. Like, there's no way that this is real life. But short synopsis is that it's about a retired assassin. Okay. Love it. Who was the top, the manga says he was top 3, but he was one of the world's top assassins. Right. No one can touch this guy. Everyone revered him. And if they revere you in this world, they're trying to kill you. Right. So he was top revered. Everyone's trying, his bounty is like, okay, think Japanese John Wick. So everyone's trying to kill him. That's what I was already thinking. Yeah. But the manga part of it that's really funny is that when he retires, he gets really fat. And he retires for love. Right. So he retires to get married and build a family. Because he's fat, no one recognizes him. Other than the ones who are in his top 10, basically. Right. So everyone's just like, this can't be him. Like, there's no way this is him. And he's given up killing. Right. So now he's just a really great incapacitator. So not to spoil anything. But the first episode has one of his, and I'm surprised I didn't remember him, but basically it was a man who used to do co-assassination missions with him. Okay. And he looked up to him like a teacher, father figure, older brother. And then he finds him, and he has a power of mind reading. So that's, every assassin has like some supernatural ability. But Sakamoto's is just the fact that he's really good. Like, he's really good at killing. So he has mind reading capabilities, like a telepath. Yeah. And he comes in, and the only reason why he knows it's him is because he can read the minds and see the thoughts of him, and he's just like, oh, this has to be him. Yeah, no way it's not. No one else thinks like this. And his organization puts a hit on him. So he's basically forced to kill his mentor. So that's the setup for the first episode. But the way that they build this relationship is so funny because every time the scene will transition from them talking to him like throwing a lollipop stick through his neck, but it'd be a thought, right? Because he's doing something stupid, and he's like, "Yo, you always think about killing me, right? Do something stupid." So he won't do it in real life, but he'll do it as a warning to him, like, "I will kill you right now if you don't stop." Because he has a daughter that if you ever talk about father and daughter love, again, you have to love what anime does when it concepts that, like, he will not mess with his daughter or his wife. He is a family man through and through. he was about to do something to where his daughter would find out like the truth about like Santa Claus not being real or something, and he threw the toothpick that was in his mouth so fast to his skull that he was just like, "You better not make my daughter cry. I am not like." And he don't speak, so the only time he's communicating is through his mind. But it's such a great. It's so weird, but it's so funny, and for them to use like an assassin backdrop. As a comedy, think if John Wick was funny. It's just it's so bizarre, and then you see the fight scenes are great. And you're just looking going like, man, like I'm just waiting for it to ramp up. I really pray that they get a season 2. Right. But yeah, man, it's just so funny. I would recommend, anime lover or not, you definitely watch it if you like comedy, if you like just weird orthodox stuff, if you like fight scenes in anime. So similar to like, I guess, Demon Slayer and stuff like that is now, it's not as artistic and it doesn't push the boundaries in that way, but there's some really pretty decent choreographed fight scenes in this anime. And again, just the concept alone, I mean, we're sitting here laughing, he doesn't even watch anime, but John Wick, funny. Just think those two things together and you're just like, alright, it doesn't make any sense. It makes a lot of sense with this anime. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I got a lot of anime to catch up on. The one that I tried to start is Attack on Titan, which I will commit to finish.
Listen, guys, I've watched it, read it in manga. He ain't ready. That is not the one you jump in with. That one will make you cry so bad. You need a warm-up anime. You need something that's funny where it's like, oh, I appreciate the art form. And it's like, okay, now to question your religion, the world politics, your existence, if you were here yesteryear or not, reincarnation. Oh, no. That's such a heavy
I've seen one episode of it, the very first episode. I haven't finished, so obviously I'm waiting.
I pray that you watch that. That's what I call
I love it.
my top 5 anime. Yeah. So out of maybe, I would say maybe 40 animes I've watched, maybe 50, that's in my top 5. I don't even say top 2, only with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood beating it out. And that's because that was the first anime that transformed my life. Right. Attack on Titan, if I would have watched Attack on Titan first, that would have been my favorite. Yeah. But yes, please get on anime, guys. Again, there's something for everybody. So if cartoon medium is not your medium, then you're not gonna like it no matter what the story is. But if you are story driven, cartoon or real life, anime will have you hooked. There's an anime for everyone. They're in every genre. So if you like love story, there's some for that. If you like just violence and people just beating each other up to see who's the strongest, there's stuff for that. Attack on Titan is a war piece, and it's very, very realistic. But it plays with the concept of spirituality and stuff like that. Like, there's something for everybody. So I just brought one that was funny that I recently watched. But if you haven't given anime a try, I strongly encourage that you do. You'll have a good time with it. Some of them are easy binges because they only adapted one season, and if you want to continue with it, there's usually mangas that follow it. And the best thing about anime, which I think Western culture has to do more of, most of these stories are finished. So there is no waiting for season 3 or 4. Like if you are stuck on this manga, or stuck on the anime, you can go and read the manga it's based off of, and you can get to the ending. Right. Before they even adapt it to the big screen. So, yeah, absolutely. So that's Sakamoto Days, everybody, and
definitely add that to your watch list.
Please do. It is incredible. It's so funny, man. It's so funny.
As we transition to things that we need to watch, right? So you have 2 more things that you just add on, including myself. Yeah, man, there's a lot of great television there that's based in our world, in our geek world, right? There are 3 that I think we share, or maybe at least one. So here's the thing. There's 2 of these things that I feel like that are on the horizon that need to be watched that Ari's never seen, but one we have seen. So the one we're going to start with is the one that we've both seen, which is You. Not you, but You. It was right there. Yes, You. You with Penn Badgley.
Yep.
Or Bagley.
Yes, Bagley.
Yeah, Penn Bagley. Listen, such a great show, such a great series. Definitely on the violent side because we are talking about a psychopath. But it's a very much a dark love story through and through and through. I think we're about to be up on season 5.
Yes, we are.
I ain't gonna lie though, I thought it was done by season 4. I thought 4 was the one. I thought 4, no wrapped. So I'm kind of surprised there's a 5th one. I actually thought that if
I praise the final season because I can't. It's starting to drag a little bit for me.
I fear that it might be now approaching that because I really thought that the way season 4 ended was a perfect ending. Probably perfect enough so that maybe there will be an offshoot. Like maybe it's about the woman.
Let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Spoiler alert for season 4.
Yeah,
so talk about it more. So, what did you like about the wrap up of season 4? Why did you feel like it was going to be the end? Like
because I think he finally found a woman that totally understood him and he didn't have to kill. You know,
right?
Like, and not only that, he did it in a way where he was willing to sacrifice himself. Where it's like, you know what? I'm trying to live this life, but I'm no good to the world. I'm going to end it myself. I want to be out of here. But for some reason, grace was bestowed on him, and he ended up with the person
that understood him.
Yeah. Something.
Is that the same woman he had the baby with? Is it?
Don't think so.
No. Okay. I was just wondering why the
okay. So that's how I thought it was gonna wrap. Again, very unique series. Very interesting. It's like you end up rooting for the villain. It's so crazy for anyone who's never watched it. Like it's something else.
And if we could talk about Penn's acting, okay, so Penn, he just did a interview. I'll try to find it for everyone watching. But he is Christian as much as they come. And he actually did an interview as to how his religious belief conflicts with
his character that he's playing. Yeah.
I think I sent it to you and a couple other of our friends that watch you. So just delving into that character and being in like that role, no matter what movie or show you're looking at, can really do a toll on you as a person. Because you're changing your mindset to kind of understand them, but you can adapt that mindset. Kind of like... I'm hinting what happened to the main star of a movie that you introduced me to recently. To where you adapt the character so much through method acting and stuff that you really can't separate yourself from that person. So it does a lot for me when I can see actors come out of those characters and still say, no, like I'm still myself, like I could still come back into my real world and be a Christian and love everyone and be charitable and stuff, because people only see this version of you. They don't see what the real person is. So these actors like Penn get death threats. They get people giving them crazy gifts going like, oh, I wish you would come and kill me too. It's just like, what are you talking, like this is just an act, this is nothing else. But he does such a phenomenal job, as what you said before, to where you feel you root for him. But then I was talking to another friend of ours and I was just like, well, how long can he go from country to country? And again, there are real life situations and scenarios, I'm sure. But man, if he goes to another country and do the same thing, go to the same place, like, I like what she's wearing. Is that? I smell Chanel. Like, it's like, I'm so tired of this. I'm dude. Please, if you can't, like you said, I thought he was going to end it. I thought he was fine. I thought, not fine. I thought they were going to wrap it up. With him basically saying, I can no longer
move like this.
But I can't change. And now that you see the song, you're like, this had to be the final scene. Like, this had to be the final scene. But I'm worried because they never marketed it that way. So whenever they don't, I'm just like, are you just waiting for audience responses for us to sit here on the chat?
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
We're tired of this.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
So I think
someone catch this man like Death Note, another anime, like Death Note. Some policeman catch this man because he's out here killing everyone.
So the writing has to be exceptional. The writing has to take a turn. The writing has to be like,
maybe there's a redemption arc after all this time,
or maybe we do get to a point where it's like, we don't really rock with this guy, and maybe now
we're not rooting for him anymore.
Maybe it's that. So it's got to be.
Listen, they keep stretching it this way by default. We're not going to be rooting for this guy. Want the main character to go away.
So that's you. You know what I'm saying? That's you in a nutshell.
Please give it a watch. It's really, really great. Again, the acting and the writing take that story to where it is. So yes, the premise can seem a little unbelievable, to where it's a psychopath basically traveling the world. He falls in love only to kill the love interest that he's with. but it's heavily character driven. Mm-hmm. So you will fall in love with the characters of the show. So if you are a person that loves investing in characters, like you can feel sympathy for them, empathy for them, then You is a perfect watch.
Yeah, it totally is. Mm-hmm. Another show that I'm psyched to see, because it's in the second season, and I haven't had a chance to really pop on it, is Andor. Star Wars Andor. Ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Woo-wee! And it's based on Cassian Andor.
I've never watched this, by the way.
Now,
but I do know it's based off of Star Wars.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of Star Wars movies out there, but in the top 3, maybe top 2, is Star Wars Rogue One. Now Star Wars Rogue One. It's from the same universe, same world, same scenario, but it doesn't have any of the characters that we have all grown to love in that movie. Except for one. One key one is in there. Mm-hmm. But as far as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, none of them jokers are in there. None of them. But
the Force is strong. The
Force is strong in that thing. Mm-hmm. It is. I remember going to see it in the movie theaters, and I was blown away. Mm-hmm. I was like, "Yo, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen." Type vibe, and the movie acts as a perfect bridge between the episode 1, episode 2, the Attack of the Clones and all this other stuff, to the eventual Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. It's like right dead in the middle, somewhere in that timeline. Fire. So, yeah, so this was my thing. The reason why I didn't go look at Andor initially was because I saw that they were making a lot of Star Wars offshoots, and at a certain point I was like, yeah, they're doing too much. Too many Star Wars, too many. It's like, yo. I was like, okay, Mandalorian, amazing. Love Mandalorian.
I didn't watch Mandalorian either, but I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, Mandalorian's fire. Amazing. So I was like, all right, cool, we got Mandalorian.
Disney was capitalizing, boy.
Yeah.
There was a whole Disney Star Wars renaissance for a while.
Right. And then we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I watched maybe one episode of that, got bored real quick, never returned to it. And then there's a Shaka or something like that. There's a bunch of...
I heard that one was better though.
I heard that one was good too.
Really good too. But like you said, it's like Star Wars fatigue.
Yes, I was getting Star Wars. I was almost getting Disney fatigue. I ain't gonna hold you. But Star Wars fatigue was definitely setting in.
Disney's great at buying the IPs that are trending.
Oh my gosh.
Sure. And then a lot of the trending IPs are theirs originally, so.
But I heard, and I saw a preview for season 2 for Andor. I was like, oh nah. I may have to roll back to this. And then I went back and checked out the reviews, and I saw that Andor season 1 was brilliant. And I was hearing it through the grapevine, but I was still getting over the fatigue. So I was ready to commit. But once I saw the trailer for season 2, I was like, oh yeah, it's time for me to go back. And I don't know nothing. I don't even know what's going on. But it looked good. So that's my short and sweet breakdown of Andor. I don't have really much more to say to that, because again, all I can tell you all about is Rogue One, which if you haven't seen, go see that. It's really good.
I agree.
So if the series is anything like that, then
I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'm not that much of a Star Wars junkie. But again,
Diego Luna, great actor. He was in Narcos.
Yeah, I just like really great TV. Like I like really great art. Period. Doesn't matter what medium it comes in. So I've heard nothing but good things, and this is from authentic Star Wars fans who have lightsabers in their room and posters of J.J. Binks and Chewbacca action figures. So I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's on season 2 right now, so go back and rewatch season 1 and then jump into season 2.
I'm seeing little reviews about it right now. I'm seeing the AV Club says Andor is back and they brought the Star Wars for grown-ups back with it. And Andor, the real political parallels are impossible to ignore.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So even as someone who's not a Star Wars fan, like, I'm pretty sure if you just like great TV, you'll find it interesting as well.
Right, for sure. And also on my watch list, and something that just like Ari's making sure I catch Black Mirror, I need Ari to catch up with The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, so I have not watched it yet, and I mean any seasons of it. I know it got its Emmys already. I know it's been deemed one of the best shows of the generation, and I haven't. It slipped off my radar. But again, he's gonna make sure. He's probably gonna. The way I'm picking him about Black Mirror, he's just gonna be like, "Hey, listen." He gonna walk around with the. I know it pop referee. Yeah, the thing. He's just gonna wear it around the house. But yes, I'm definitely gonna make sure I watch it. But tell people what make you go like, man. This is something that you have to watch.
Talk about a series that's made me emotional, brought me to tears, got me literally angry, frustrated, empathetic, mad at the main hero character. It's done. I've experienced every emotion with The Handmaid's Tale, but had me in complete utter shock and disbelief. It has done it all. Quick synopsis, without spoiling anything for anybody who hasn't watched it. Elizabeth Moss, who's always been brilliant. She's the lead character. She plays June Osborne. June Osborne pretty much is traveling with her family somewhere. I think they're on the closer end to Canada somewhere. And they're driving around. And they're driving somewhere with their son, you know? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bunch of people come up, ambush them, and they take June away from her family. And that's the last she sees them for years. And they bring her into this whole world. And she's forced to be a handmaid to a rich, superior family. And a government, this dystopian government, this whole thing that's in America, but it's not America. And down the line. And it's the story of how she's trying to work through that, how she's trying to get out, how she's trying to move people out of there, and all these women, and the stuff that the women are going through and dealt with, and how they're killed, and it's like, it's crazy. And then you're seeing on the other side how the husband is feeling about it and how he's trying to get governments to go against, because they're their own government of themselves. And it's like, yo, my wife is trapped over there. I need to get her back. What are we doing to infiltrate this government so that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like there's a government within America. It's almost like they have now become their own country within the country. It is sick. Yo. So
that sounds amazing. Like I've heard some great things about it, like throughout time. I mean, what season are they on right now?
They're about to jump on to season 6, I think.
And it's Hulu, right?
Hulu, yeah. Been around since 2017.
As I said, it's been around for a while, yeah.
I got caught up.
It's nice to know it's been consistent, because I heard from the very first season it's been something that no one. It's like Black Mirror in that way. It's like as soon as it comes out, everyone is trending regardless, no matter what. Yeah.
So, Handmaid's Tale, and yeah, you should definitely catch up. I think you'd enjoy it a lot.
You did a good job. You did a good job pitching it. Again, it's been on my radar, but it always slips by. Like, I'll catch it later. But that premise alone, I never knew it. I knew that she was a handmaid. I didn't know they talked about like. It had commentary on women's rights, how women were treated, I guess, like, and it did, like, how you say, modern commentary about, like, how women feel now the battle is and stuff like that. But I never knew that the backdrop of it. I never knew that she was, like, kidnapped and taken and it's dystopia.
And the love stories in between is so weird, but messy, but it's so a lot. There be times where I'm looking at Moss, like, June Osborne, and I'm like, June, you're not doing this, June. What are we doing, June? I
and
get it.
The main character?
Yeah, June's it's like June. What? Like.
So you feel different things for her. It's not just a rooting for the hero thing. It's like sometimes you disagree with her. Sometimes you like dislike her strongly. And okay, so that's an interesting dynamic as well. That the main character is not the hero sometimes.
Sometimes, or she does stuff that makes you question, like what?
So it's human.
And yes, very human.
I love that.
My gosh. So yeah, Handmaid's Tale is coming soon, if not out already on Hulu. I didn't have it on our notes, but one other show I definitely want to see is Paradise. I've heard none of the great things about that.
Yes,
Paradise.
We both have to watch that.
Also on Hulu. A lot of great television out there, man.
And Paradise is also, I think, a dystopian.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know.
It's conspiracy. Sorry, it's not dystopian. It's conspiracy. Yeah.
I don't really know too much about it, and I kind of like it that way. So when I go in, listen, anything you can just sell me on. Yeah, the acting's really good. The story's really good. Boom, I'm there.
Yeah,
okay.
One of our friends told me about it, and she said, like, if you like conspiracy, because we talk a lot of conspiracy and government conspiracy and what they really do and what's their real intent and stuff like that. And she said, have you watched Paradise yet? And I was like, no. And she was like, that's that. She's like, you would love it. It's government conspiracy. It's if the government's really doing this, what do we do? And it follows a very concise story, she says. So it's like, I guess it's through the lens, like we said, like character driven. And you're getting to root for the characters in this weird government that I guess they found out is against them or whatever case may be. But it's really great. I've heard nothing but great things. And anything that is personally recommended to me, I will always put on my list because my friends have such a great taste of just art in general. So I know they're not going to sit here and give me like somewhere it's just like, yo, what? Like, this was a gag, right? Like, it's like you just wanted to see how bad I like this show. Like, it's like how bad I disliked it. Yeah.
Like a quick summary. Going back to Handmaid's Tale, real quick before we move on. Handmaid's Tale, a dystopian novel by Margaret Atwood, tells the story of Offred, who is June Osborne, a handmaid, because that's the name that was given to her. Offred, a handmaid in the Republic of Gilead, a totalitarian bureaucracy that emerged after the United States government collapsed. Offred is forced to bear children for the ruling class, the commanders, due to a fertility crisis and the suppression of women's rights.
That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Alright, I gotta watch that. That's on the watch list, guys. So,
yeah.
What else are we getting into? So that's what we are excited to watch.
Right.
What's on
television
so far.
Right. Yes. But there's also movies.
Streaming. Yes.
Movies.
So there's movies.
There's movies, right? Listen, we about to be on, summer blockbuster. We about to be in May, So we got a couple of joints that's coming up. Superman. We got something. Superman.
Woo!
We gotta do Superman. Now listen, I'm gonna say this. When I heard that they were trying to do Superman again, and Henry...
It hits you with the fatigue. Did you get a little bit?
A little bit.
It's
because I was just like, come on, man, we got Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it's like Henry Cavill.
Like, dude, we good. No, James Gunn's like, nah, DC hasn't been writing in a long time, I'm about to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
The last one they had was Aquaman 2. That was the last one that, they stopped the universe on that.
So we're talking strictly trailers here, trailers I've seen. And so Superman, I'm starting with because that's the oldest trailer that's been out there. We've seen that trailer for a minute now. And my gosh. Man, they did it again. They pulled me back. Crap. All right, I guess I'm seeing this movie route. Because it looks really good. It's amazing.
Guys, just so I can talk a little bit about the trailer and take... I have not been the biggest fan of DC in a while. So I cannot say I've caught up on a lot of... I watched Aquaman's. I tried to watch the Justice League.
Did you ever see Man of Steel?
I did not see Man of Steel. Man of Steel is incredible. I also didn't watch Batman v Superman either. So like I said, I'm admitting I have not been the biggest fan of DC. DC was rivaling Marvel at the time, and there's not a Marvel movie I missed. Mm-hmm. I have watched every Marvel movie that has ever been produced multiple times. I did watch Wonder Woman, and I watched the second one as well. So when I tell you I'm so hyped,
legit.
Like, I'm not... Henry Cavill is probably one of the actors I will surely remember and getting older and stuff. Like, he's done phenomenal in The Witcher. That's another show.
Yeah, good show.
Don't watch.
Good show. I watched it.
Watch it. Let me not say that word. But I strongly dislike what they did with the ending of it. But he was incredible. I wish they would have kept him on because he's such a great actor. He was amazing in Mission Impossible as a villain.
Fallout.
He just Fallout.
Fire.
Great actor. Man, did they make this Superman so lovable through the trailer? Like, Henry Cavill comes off a little bit more serious, and it's a trans Superman, but I believe what makes me attracted to Superman is how relatable he is, even though he's alien.
Yes.
It's like, he knows he could blow up the planet, but he does everything to save human beings. And it's only because of the love of being adopted by a human family when his planet got destroyed.
Yes.
So that part's already relatable. And then you're sitting here with all this power, and you're just like, wow, I can really. And they have a movie that plays off this concept called Brightburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that plays off the evil Superman concept. Like, if the powers of Superman from an alien planet was to go against humanity.
Yep.
But this trailer, in like what? James Cameron did it in like what? Or James Gunn did it in like a minute and a half. Man. Like, he did it in such a short, condensed trailer, like, where he saves a kid in the building. The shots in that thing, man, it's going to be so huge. I think I saw Valkyrie when she was flying with her, what they call it, the mace. She was using the mace to fly through the air. The building in the city is falling over. You see, what's his name? Lex Luthor. You know, He-Man. They always have mess with. I don't know if the guy's British. I watched him in a couple of things, but I don't know how he's gonna be as Lex. But I'm very super excited. Yes, I'm excited to see him. I don't know how he's gonna play Lex, but I'm hoping he brings something different.
Yeah, because I haven't loved the Lex Luthor characters so far.
Even though they are played by really good actors. Yeah, the way that they're written, it just seems very cliche. Very comic book still.
Yeah, the Kevin Spacey one. The other kid who
played Scott Pilgrim in Social Network. Yes.
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg.
Not Scott Pilgrim. No, he played Zombieland.
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg.
But here's the thing. I feel like they're great actors.
Yeah, it's just the
writing. Like, they haven't gotten Lex good yet, but I have faith that James Gunn would do it. Well, directing it, he'll make sure the writers do a great job. But man, those shots are so epic. And then I don't know if you got a chance to see this trailer, but there was a trailer that came out with him going to the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, see, and that's the thing about trailers, guys. I try to avoid trailers because I feel like they give away too much.
No. So this is something that I'll encourage you to watch. It's not giving away anything at all. So it's the same shot of Crypto, which, can I just say how much I love that they're bringing Crypto into this? Like, man, when I saw the little snow coming out and I saw the little thing, I was like, there's no way they did this. There's no way. And Crypto came down with him. I'm just like, a man and his dog. And this is going to be phenomenal. So it plays off of that. Yep. It's that same exact scene. But you see the strength of Crypto. And if you ever had a dog in your life, if you ever been at pain, like, let's just say your leg is cramping up, and you be like, boy, wait, hold on. And they just be like, arf, 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 and then you go to the part that hurt. Any dog lover, any dog owner could resonate with that.
Yeah.
And Crypto is basically jumping, because so remember, he was spitting out blood when he came down to the ice. I don't know what fight that's from, but he's on the ice, he's bleeding, and Crypto runs up to him, and he just starts pounding him. And he's like, and he's like, and you can hear whatever sound word they did. It sounds like a horse is trembling this thing. He's like, he's like, Crypto, stop. He's trying to tell him to stop, but Crypto's not understanding. And then he's like, home, take me home. And Crypto's like, oh, okay. And he holds his cape and he's literally running and dragging him through the snow. And he gets to the Fortress of Solitude. And I don't know these robots' names, but it just speaks to the humanity of what Superman is. Probably, if not, the strongest person, other than I think the gods of DC, to exist in DC universe. He is the strongest one. And you can see the humanity almost like infected him, because he's even saying thank you to robots, and the robots are sitting there talking to him while they're trying to heal him. They're just like, well, sir, you don't have to thank us. We don't even know what thankful is. Like, we don't even know what gratitude is. And he's sitting there laughing with them because he's just like, well, I'm gonna thank you anyway. So even in that short clip, they show the healing process of him. they show how it hurts him. Even though the sun heals him, it's almost like if you were to search your wounds.
Yeah.
So it's like the sun is doing surgery. So you feel the pain, he's screaming, and they're trying to hold him down because he's in the fight, he got beat up really bad.
Right.
But it's such a great trailer. Again, it doesn't give away too much. You don't know the fight that happened. You don't know if that's how he came to Earth or not. You don't know anything like that, but I doubt it because he's older.
Yeah.
But man, you gotta watch that trailer, JJ. You have to watch it. It doesn't give away anything at all. If anything, it's just playing off that thing of Superman is finally relatable.
Okay.
It's not too stoic like Henry, where you're just like, man, like, Wicca without the Superman cape, I would be trying to be you. Like, I'd be trying to up you in the gym.
Got it. Okay.
He's not that guy. He's literally just you're average, you're trying to fit in with society, but it's like you have such a empathy for humans.
Right.
And I think they finally nailed it with this one, and I'm super excited.
I love it.
Please watch the second trailer. You will not be disappointed.
Okay. All right. Cool. Done. So that's Superman. I'm gonna go with Tron Ares, man. Tron Ares. So Tron came out back in the 80s.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With Disney. Starring is it not Kurt Russell?
I thought it was Kurt.
Is it? Yeah. Who's the original Tron? Yeah, the 1982 cast, the first one.
I thought it was Kurt Russell.
Sorry, Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff Bridges. Okay. Kurt Russell was the remake, I thought.
No, Jeff Bridges is in the first one. So Jeff is presumably in all three of them.
Is he really?
Yes, and Garrett Hedlund is in the 2000 one. For those who may wonder who Garrett Hedlund is, I discovered him in the movie called Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you're right. It is Jeff Bridges. Yes.
Yeah, and Andre 3K. And Garrett was the youngest one. And Garrett was into 2001. So the 82 Tron Classic 2000 did a superb job with that one. So I didn't think it was a part 3 coming. But man, it's coming. Woo! And that trailer looks fire. In fact, the trailer's so dope and the story seems so dope that I don't think you need to watch the first 2 to get into this. Like,
I agree.
It's so sci-fi. It is so sci-fi, bro. It is amazing in that way. I'm super excited about it. Jared Leto is going to be in there. Jared Leto is one of the best actors out there. He likes his little sci-fi. He was actually in Blade Runner 2049. If you've ever seen that, fire.
He hasn't had a good run. I think the last cast he did was the one with the vampire. I can't remember what it was, and people didn't really like that one. So I'm hoping that this just kind of erases that super sci-fi thing that he's done.
Right. He played. He was in that joint for Marvel.
Where he's like a vampire or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even. Morbius.
Morbius.
Yeah. Morbius. Yes.
Do not watch that.
Okay.
Forget about it. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah. So he's in Tron. That looks dope. Tron Ares. It looks really fire. And you've seen both Trons, right? Or you've seen the second one?
I haven't seen the first one. I saw the second one. So the second one was more like us growing up. It used to always come on like maybe telling age here, but you know the movie channels that be on like 500 and like you scroll up. So you have your HBO, your Max, stuff like Stars, and it used to come on repeat. And me and one of my childhood friends used to watch it all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't fall in love with the concept of it because I didn't really understand the world. I did a little bit of background research throughout the years between this one and that one, and I realized it's like this technological, almost like you're in a computer CPU type of world.
Yes.
And the thing I loved about this trailer is that I think it's going to do the premise better to where people don't understand that this world came over and conquered the real world.
Yes.
Because I think in Tron Legacy, you just kind of wake up there and you're just like, oh, are we just in the setting? Like, am I just meant to feel for these people? But in the trailer, you see them conquering it.
Yes.
So people are in baristas and coffee shops and they're looking at these spaceships, and then these cops are trying to chase down these people on motorcycles and they put on
fire.
Chills, like I literally got chills. They turn on the lasers and then split the car apart.
Fire.
I'm just like, what is happening? So you see the conquering of it, and then you start to see the whole world new in this cyber tech, cyberpunk world. And man, I just got chills just with that. The way that they're gonna use. I always wonder why they didn't use the lasers more as like weapons and stuff. But this laser, whatever it is like literally like their basis of technology. So it's the way they shoot bullets. It's the way that they boost cars and motorcycles. Like it is like their fuel, I guess. And they look like they're gonna finally apply it in this movie. Like as a weapon. I think I saw some of the spaceships shooting it down. Some of the policemen were using guns like that. I'm just like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be fire. And the casting, again, as you said, phenomenal casting.
And on top of that, to just make my heart even warmer, you know, it's sci-fi, right?
Okay, you already know Conquest is an artist, so go ahead and tell them the thing you're hyped up about.
Bruh.
Soundtrack.
Bruh. For a movie like Tron, with all its sci-fi-ness, you need the industrial rock/metal band known as 9 Inch Nails to provide the soundtrack, and that's exactly what they've done. My gosh, it don't get no better than that. That's what you get.
And Trent
Reznor and Atticus Ross, who are the two leaders of the band, and they've been around since the 90s. They are legendary. And they have gone at extreme lengths to now do a lot of soundtracks for a lot of your favorite movies. They did the soundtrack for Soul, the animated movie Soul.
I love that. I love the music specifically.
Yeah, they did that. Just to show their flexibility, they did the soundtrack for Gone Girl. They did the soundtrack for The Social Network.
Yes, you did tell me that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like they have a lot of
range,
versatility, and variety.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's like you kind of hear a bit of the 9 Inch Nails sound in Social Network, very subtly in Gone Girl. Not so much in Soul, but again, these are world-class musicians. And I know they produced a whole album for Halsey at one point, and a bunch of people. But you a 9 Inch Nails fan? Oh my God! Synths on synths on synths
and that's what Tron is. Tron is synths on synths. So I'm very excited.
It sounds gonna be amazing.
Listen, if you get a one for anything, it's definitely gonna be for that. Because every movie that you said, actually the reason why I remember them is their soundtrack.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it was on that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Okay, yeah. So every movie that you're talking about, I distinctly remember the music of.
Yeah.
Social Network specifically.
Soul,
I love. So I'm just like, but all those movies are Social Network, obviously not. But the fact that they have that musical backdrop, and that's one of the things I remember about those movies, even though they were great movies of their own right, acting and otherwise. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Because Tron is the type of movie where you have to do the music right because it's so sci-fi.
Yes.
Like a lot people I think don't correlate sci-fi with musical soundtrack, but that is a part of the fantasy. You have to take people inside
in the world.
Sound.
And the sound has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, the synth has to be on point. Synth and Tron are like, you're not going to listen to classical music with Tron. If you do hear a pinch of classical music, it's probably the villain.
Right.
Maybe on like a record or something like that. That's how attached the music is to a movie like that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. It's just, I'm looking up all the movies that they did. Oh man, it's like I can't even. That whole thing is so long. It's so long.
Their resume.
Their resume is so long. It is crazy. Trying like, I want to go to movies, discography. Yeah, it's just 9 Inch Nails with Atticus Ross. Yeah, soundtracks. Social Network, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Patriots Day, The Vietnam War, Bird Box, Watchmen, Soul, Empire of Light, Teenage Mutant The Killer, Challengers, the movie with Zendaya, the tennis movie, Queer, Orange After. Yeah.
It definitely shows their range. They have impeccable range because some of those movies have nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
It's like playing Where's Waldo with a soundtrack.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited.
Super excited.
I'm excited. Trying to you guys, please go watch the trailers again. If you are into sci-fi at all, if you're into dystopian worlds at all, if you're into literally just technology, comics. Again, Tron is a great watch. I feel like they're gonna do the legacy justice.
Yeah.
Or probably even exceed it. Like, it looks phenomenal. And we're finally, we have to be grateful, right? Can we just take this in? We live in an amazing era. To where this stuff looks like it could be literally next door.
Right.
Like you said, like Handmaid's Tale, where it's like, oh, the U.S. government fell down and it's like some other government somewhere in the world that's right here. It's like Tron is like that too. Like, they're doing such a great job. The technologies that are being made in these studios, where it's like you can really feel like, wow, if there's really is an alien civilization that comes out and conquer us, it looked like it really happened. Like, maybe that's a parallel universe that just went in there and filmed it and they popped out. But it's one of those things where it's like, I just had to take a moment and soak it all in, that we live in such an incredible time where I feel like artists are finally able to fully express what's in their minds to the fullest capability.
I agree.
Like, technology has finally matched. If not, it's going to help expand the creativity that we already have in our minds already. And I'm really excited for that.
I agree. So, a couple other movies as far as trailers are concerned. I'm gonna let you take the lead on these. Thunderbolts.
We've been doing that. Yeah.
Thunderbolts is on the way. We're speaking of Marvel movies, so it's two of them. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four.
So,
first steps.
I'm going to let you take the lead on this because I have yet to see those trailers yet.
Oh, okay.
But I do know they're coming out. I do know they're highly anticipated. So
yeah,
I know Thunderbolts come out this summer, and then Fantastic Four they're working on.
Yeah. So So Thunderbolts drops May 2nd. Yeah. Trying to organize a squad to go see that movie actually. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I know the Winter Soldier's involved. I know a couple of people that was like in the movie with what's the girl's name who used to run with Hawkeye?
Black Widow.
Black Widow, they're involved.
Yeah, Black Widow is literally her cousin.
Yeah,
the sister from the sorority of assassins, like their group.
Yeah.
Their father figure that like adopted them. I think his name is like Red something. I can't remember his name.
Right, and he's actually in Stranger Things as well. Yeah,
I didn't know.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know a thing about what's happening in this movie. I'm just gonna go see it.
It's not the Winter Soldier that's in it. It's the Winter Soldier in it. Bucky's in it. But you have to catch up on Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the TV series on Netflix, because that has the guy who tried to take on the mantle as Captain America.
Yes, I watched that. He's in that, okay.
Bucky's in it. Yeah. The Red, I can't remember his name right now, like the title of his character, but he's basically like the Russian, I want to say like the Russian Boomerang, but he could be more he could be more powerful than that.
Yeah.
And then you have Black Widow's cousin / sister.
Right.
And I believe there's one more character that I'm missing. But they're basically, what's their name? Suicide Squad. Marvel Suicide Squad.
That's why, it looks it gives me that. It gives me that.
Well, it's going to be Disney-esque. So it's going to be with the Disney spins, the humor, the lighting, the angles, I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least 3 blow-up scenes somewhere in the movie. Because it's basically like they're just being sent on missions.
I don't think I watched a proper trailer for it, but I know it exists and I'm going to watch it. That's where I'm at.
Okay, so if you're a DC fan, not DC fan, if you're a Marvel fan,
go for it. You know?
Especially if you're like just looking at the story of those characters. Like, I was interested in the Captain America 2 guy, because remember, he was the only Captain America to kill. So I was very interested to see how I'm forgetting her name, but she's like the walker of the Suicide Squad for them. So she's basically trying to reform them and send them out on missions and stuff like that, just like Suicide Squad. So if you like Suicide Squad, if you like the premise of Suicide Squad, this is Marvel Suicide Squad.
Gotcha. So,
and then you said
Fantastic Four, the first steps.
Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal, anything that he's in, I'm watching. Yeah. So I don't have to go past that, but
that's how I feel too. You know what I'm saying? And the woman who was casted with him, I forgot her name.
Let's see.
Gorgeous. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She's bad, but I forgot her name. She was in a couple movies. She was in the Fast and the Furious movie with The Rock.
Kirby?
Yes. Vanessa Kirby. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby was in that. She was in Mission Impossible too. She was in Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation and the Fallout and the thing.
Okay. Because her face is familiar.
And a couple of other things.
Oh, John Malkovich is in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he's playing Thing.
Red Ghost.
He might be playing Thing.
Red Ghost is what they have in that.
Right.
There's Galactus in it? Oh, no.
Yeah.
This shit's about to be crazy. This movie's about to be crazy. We're looking at the casting, and if they go Galactus, this is going to be bigger than Silver Surfer, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Rise of the Silver Surfer introduced Galactus when, remember, he was following Silver Surfer. They actually have a person playing him.
Yeah,
that's
Joseph
crazy.
Quinn, he's dope too. Julia Garner, if you've seen Ozark.
I haven't watched Ozark, but you and Dad love that show. I gotta watch that show.
Brilliant.
That's with Jason Bateman, right?
Yes, Julia Garner is brilliant. I think she did win an Emmy. She's brilliant. And, watch it for her.
She's the one who plays the Silver Surfer. She's playing Silver Surfer in this. Oh, nice. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Pedro Pascal, I've been following him for a while. Anything he's in, I'm gonna watch.
First thing I ever saw Pedro Pascal, and it was Narcos. And,
yes. And I actually haven't watched Narcos. I only knew him, like his acting in it.
Yeah. So First Steps looks good. I love the fact that it's done in a time period. It looks like it's done in the 60s.
Yeah. You gotta love to go back in the time.
Go back in the time.
The first time I watched Pedro was Kingsman. The second one.
Yes.
When he was playing a cop. Oh man, I just found him so funny.
Yes,
but he did such a great job with the character, and I've been following him ever since. Last of Us 2. Another geek out. If you haven't watched The Last of Us, watch it.
Watch that.
Man, season 2 is off to a phenomenal start. We're in the middle of it. Only 2 episodes came out right now, so don't miss it.
I
fall behind. That's another show, that we both watch and we both like. It's just season 2 is off.
Yeah.
Man, the cinematography in this again, and the acting in this again, you can't beat it. You can't. But Fantastic Four.
First Steps.
Yes, I'm excited.
That's coming out. It's coming out this year. So.
It's coming out this year, 2025,
Can't wait. Alright, so I think that's it for trailers, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot to watch and a lot of things that you could be watching or soon to watch.
And them and us, we have to get on top of it too. It's for all of us. All of us here, we have
We all belong in a certain world.
Yes. They all belong in the geek world. What was called the geek world once upon a time. Now it's pop culture. Who would have thought? Something so niche would become something that everyone loves. I love it.
But every now and again, because there's so much of it, you're going to miss a couple of things. And Ari missed a major one, in my opinion. The movie that I just put her on to, almost by force. He made sure I didn't avoid this one. He was like, well, you never see... No. We're watching it right now.
You can't live. You can't continue life.
I'm back on Netflix.
Yes, that's what it was. It came up and changing the song was like Destiny. You gonna watch this? I can't remember what I was doing, but he pulled me in. I was
you doing anything right now?
Yeah. I was on my way to bed. I was on my way to do something. I was just like, I got 5 minutes. And it turned into a whole hour.
Hour and a half.
I get to see the ending. But please tell them, don't do me too rough. Handle me with care.
Yeah.
But go ahead and tell them, I'm sorry ahead of time.
We're gonna spend a little bit of time on this, but important time nonetheless. The movie that I'm talking about, I just finally introduced Ari to, is none other than The Dark Knight. Now,
I know. I can hear the boos. Boo. How could you? And it's like, I know. I knew about this movie.
I'm sure I have one of those in my closet. So.
I knew about this movie. I knew about the excellent acting. I knew about all of it. I don't know for what reason or another I never came back.
I think she was scared of seeing Heath Ledger in a certain way.
No, I wasn't scared. It was more like what was happening in real life with it. That I was more so like, man, all that bad publicity, I think, stirred me away from it. And then I think the unfortunate ending of Keith was also something that kind of just didn't emotionally put me there.
Right.
So I never went back to it because of that, I think. But I heard it was phenomenal. I've always heard it was great acting. I think Keith post-mortem got the Oscar for that.
Yeah, you got the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the first time I think a actor in a comic book movie got that.
Yes, it did break. Yes, it did break the comic book curse.
Yes.
Whereas like comic book movies could be so great, but the Oscars never nominated them because they thought it was too fantastical or it would make them too like I guess out of the classical world of grading or however they do their thing. But let's look at this.
So, Dark Knight produced by I think the Nolan brothers and directed by Christopher Nolan himself. He did all three. There's a Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, which begins with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan is one of the best directors out there. He has done some of my favorite movies. Inception.
He doesn't miss.
Again, Dark Knight. Oppenheimer.
Yeah. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, he don't miss. Dude is true. Tenet, truly incredible. And I think it is a near perfect movie. Do I love Dark Knight's super growly voice as Batman? Not so much, but it's tolerable. It works for what it is. I think Christian Bale is great. Michael Caine is Michael Caine. Morgan Freeman is Morgan Freeman. Maggie Gyllenhaal is perfect in her role, especially after coming off of the fact that she replaced Katie Holmes from the first in the series. Who else am I thinking about? Aaron Eckhart, who plays Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Man, great as well. But we gotta talk about Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger as the Joker is one of the greatest acting performances I have ever seen. I remember when they said that they were going to cast Heath Ledger as the Joker, I thought they were out of their minds. I thought, not saying that Heath can act, Pretty Boy, did movies like The Knight's Tale and 10 Things I Hate About You. It was like, all right, cool. I kind of almost had him typecast. Like, yeah, he plays those roles. You're not going to put him as the Joker. Oh, I ate my words so fast when I saw that movie for the first time. He is brilliant. Yo, so many lines. Like when he says, like when the people say to him, yo, you're crazy. No, I'm not. No. Says that. Man, like, oh, he is crazy. Listen, his acting performance is phenomenal, which already adds to an already great script. And already Gary Oldman's in there, also fantastic. Mm-hmm. And
as Lieutenant Gordon. He wasn't Commissioner Gordon yet.
Sick. And it is personally it's a top 10 movie for me all time. It might be a top 5 movie for me all time. I think it is brilliant. And Ari, what do you think so far? We're not even done yet. She's not even done. I've seen the movie at least 10 times.
Not done yet, but I can definitely say one word comes to mind: captivating. I only had 5 minutes. I can't remember what. No, that's what it was. So JJ and I, again, individually has been moving and shaking so many different things. So we were basically doing a catch up, and I was like, "Hey, listen, I have 5 minutes before I think I head to bed or something like that." And I was like, "So let me check in with you. Let's check in with each other and see what's going on." Mm-hmm. And I think he used that opportunity to mentally kidnap me and be like, "Oh, you got a couple minutes?" I was like, "Yes," because that's what I was coming down to sit down with you for. And he's like, "There's just something I have to show you." So I think he knew his intention. I think he was just like, just a couple minutes. The movie is 2 and some change long, like 2 hours and some change. And literally, it took me looking at the watch and be like, I gotta get my kids to bed. For me to stop and be like, I have to physically stop watching it. And he paused it for me. Like, that's the only way I could stop watching what was happening. First word that comes to mind is captivating. It sucks in your attention right away. The acting, man, is just, I just have to suck it all in sometimes because I'm looking at when this movie was produced in 2008, mm-hmm. and I have to consider this as one of the godfathers of this renaissance of comic book, because again, he did break that curse or whatever they say the stigma was on not acknowledging comic book adaptations as great acting. Because these characters, because people used to take the medium of comics and say, well, what could be so serious about it? Again, geek culture was such a niche culture. So when people used to say, man, I'm crying that Wayne's parents died, they'd be like, yo, that's a fictional character. Like, why are you so invested? And then you get it on the screen and you see people crying who have never read it. You see them crying when, what's her name? Rachel, that switch up, as a comic book fan, I was just like, wait, Harvey becomes Two-Face, I know that. I know that it came with the Joker, tricking him and stuff like that. And they've done so many adaptations. I think there's a version of Harvey and him, and I was telling Gigi about this, about Harvey and Bruce being better friends than what they portray. That's the only thing I wish they would have pushed the friendship more, because it makes the betrayal in how Harvey basically goes against him so much worse. Because they were him, Rachel, and Harvey were best friends. They were best friends in the comics. And he promoted him. So he comes off in this movie, Christian Bale, Bruce, he comes almost like an investor, like, oh, like, I know you're doing good things, but for them to play him as being that tired Batman, where he's like, look, I'm looking for someone to take up the mantle, I think they could have played that into that a little bit more, because that was his best friend. And Bruce, his whole dilemma, and you know this as a comic book as well, Bruce Wayne's whole dilemma is that he wants to give up the Batman, but just like Daredevil, the other ways to protect Gotham don't work. Right. So he basically is forced to keep the mask on, and Alfred's always the one being his ground, like his grounding, or like, Bruce, you don't have to do this. Like, you can save the world another way. Right. But he doesn't. He feels compelled. He almost feels like it's his purpose. Right. So passing on the mantle to someone who he was blessed to be best friends with comes off like a spiritual, like, letting go. And it hits Bruce in such a way to where I think in the comic book he's crying or something. Like, it's coming to the realization, like, wow, I really don't have to do this way anymore. They tap on it in the movie. I just wish in that part they really drove home how close Bruce and Harvey were. Because when Rachel was like, Harvey, I chose you, I love you, and they were gonna get married, and just the way they cut that with her hair flying by and the building blowing up, and I'm just like, oh my God. And Harvey sees Bruce, because remember, Harvey doesn't know that Batman's Bruce yet. So Bruce comes in, sees his best friend, but did not choose his best friend, chose the girl that he was secretly in love with, but didn't tell Harvey about. Right. And that's Harvey's girl. So you have the best friendship, but you have this trifecta of Bruce, you a player, you always been a player, everyone knows you a player. He coming into the sponsorship, Harvey's event, with 3 girls off a helipad, and it's just like, we know you a player. We know you a player, we love you for it, billionaire playboy guy. Oh, he left Alfred on the yacht with the 5 other girls there. He was like, I just hope they stop having me spread sunscreen. He was so over it at that point. So they established that part of it really well. He has money beyond money. Right. He can come to private events with a private chopper. Like, he's good. Yeah. The fact that he came in is like almost like an investment thing. But if they really would have put up that friendship a lot more, it broke Bruce's heart in the comics that he saw Harvey. Right. Because he didn't choose Harvey. He didn't know the letter that Rachel left for Alfred to tell him that she didn't choose him. Remember when Alfred read the letter, he held it from Bruce. Because Bruce was in heartache and going like, man, like Alfred, she was waiting for me. That's what he said in the movie, that she was waiting for me. We were going to be together. And only Alfred knows the truth that Rachel didn't choose him. Right. She chose Harvey. And man, that scene alone. And then Joker's just loud when he going through in the cop car with his hair out like a freaking dog, like a labradoodle or something. I'm just like, yeah, man. This dude, man, the storytelling was so great. But Heath Ledger, to wrap it up with this, method acted perfection. Yeah, man. I could not tell who was behind. If you didn't tell me who that was, that character alone is just stand out now. Like, the Dark Knight's Joker is like a pedestal of great acting, great performances, where the actor and the character blend in so much. You don't know. He played Psycho so well. It made it seem like we all had a little bit of crazy in us. Like when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make the pencil disappear," and he threw the and he was like. And it's the way he licked his lips. Yeah. It's almost like he was crazy but nervous. Like he always felt like he was putting on a show. He's like, no, I'm gonna try to do my problem. No, I don't think you want to do that. No, no. And then when you say, he's like, I'm not crazy.
not.
And he's just, I'm not. It's when he breaks that. It's like, is the licking your lips a nervous tick? Is it what you're doing to perform? Are you really in control, or is your craziness out of control? You escaped out of Arkham Asylum, like.
Want to know how I got these scars?
Oh man! And every time you do that, you don't know if he really gonna cut the person or not. You don't know if he really gonna kill him, or if he's just telling the story. When he had Rachel in the event, and he's like, "You are so pretty." Oh my god! He was just like, "I had a wife just like." I'm like, "Oh my god, no!" He's such. Again, R.I.P. Heath Ledger. You have definitely set a milestone in cinema, in the comic book world. Everyone has been trying, I think, to chase that ever since.
Halloween.
Yes.
Halloween costumes are based off of your character.
Yes.
You are the archetype Joker.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
And again, I'm just really grateful. I missed it, but I'm so glad to have experienced it with you. We didn't finish it yet, so maybe we should take some time to finish out the last 50 minutes. I'd like to finish it with you.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I finally watched it with you.
Same.
So, yes, that's The Dark Knight, and yeah, I'm just glad to have really experienced that, man. That was great.
I had to make sure it happened.
Yeah, he had to make sure, like I told you, 5 minutes putting the kids in bed, and I was like, what? And then 2008, for it to be 17 years ago, and it seemed like it came out yesterday.
Fire. Timeless filmmaking and acting.
Timeless, yeah.
So we're
watch it.
Yeah, make sure you watch that. It's on Netflix right now. If you've never seen it, somehow
it has to be somewhere. It's probably like top.
If you want to watch it again, watch it on Netflix. We're gonna switch gears to a certain degree.
Okay.
Still in nerddom, but music nerddom, right? So everybody knows, because there's episodes currently on YouTube. You can go back and check it out. I took time out at the end of last year to review, in my opinion, the top 30 hip-hop albums to drop in 2024, and I narrowed it down to a top 15. I also included other artists in there from different other genres, so I thought it made incredible marks, like the Leon Thomases, the Knock Looses, definitely the Linkin Parks, etc., etc., etc. And it was a grand old time. Again, you can go watch it on our channel. It's good stuff. If you want to know what happened in 2024 musically, come mess with me.
Great countdown.
Come rock with me.
Great countdown.
Now, this is the thing I've noticed about 2025, and I actually had an offhand conversation with you about it. I feel like I've not heard about any hip hop albums that have been standout. At least not in the secular realm. I've been hearing about a lot of music that came from 2024, like Luther and Squabble Up from GNX. Kendrick Lamar's album is still in the top 10. I think it's the number 2 album in the country still. It Rose Up. Luther, I think, is still the number 1 single in the country. They just started a tour. There's been some diss records back and forth involving guys like Joey Badass and Daylight and Ray Vaughn and stuff like that. There's been certain resurgences from Drake, if you want to call it that, but no.
People do know I'm a coach, right?
Aubrey.
IG.
Yeah.
Just DM me.
Maybe we can talk about that in male-female relationships, which will.
Oh yeah, we're gonna preview it later. That. Yeah, for sure. But please.
But yeah, long story less long. There's not been any standout hip hop albums where people are automatically talking about it, like, yo, this might be album of the year. Like they did when Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips came out, and then eventually when the summer came, when Doechie's album came out, her mixtape came out, and a couple of other people. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really heard that talk. Now, in the Christian hip hop realm, because I judge both the secular and Christian hip hop world, I feel like that's kind of been the same too, to a degree. We've had a lot of music come out in terms of singles and EPs. Like, one standout EP that came out this year, I have to say, is Constant Surveillance from Adam. I think that, me and Adam and I were talking recently, and I think that might be his best body of work, whether it's EPs or albums. Constant Surveillance is really great. Amazing. I'm still mad I'm not on that record. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm playfully saying that, but I'm not. it's like I want to be like this. It's amazing. Constant Surveillance is probably the best Christian hip hop related project to drop in 2025, and maybe one of the better hip hop projects to come out in 2025. I might add Ransom and David East, The Final Call, that might be there too. But in terms of album, there's not been much except for one album I think is now in that conversation as far as like one of the best albums of the year. Again, the composition isn't super stiff. But even if it was stiff, I think it's that good of an album. And we gotta talk about, because I listened to it, I had already listened to it, and we're gonna give our quick notes on it. We're talking about Stay Out of the Corner, Ski Mask Cologne, Right Eye, which is only 25 minutes long. It's a very short album, which makes me think maybe there's a part 2 coming, because there is Right Eye, and most people have Left Eye too as well. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe the dichotomy of that is happening. But that parallel universe is happening. But we do have Right Eye, Ski Mask Cologne. It came out, I can't remember when it came out, guys. I'm so sorry. I'll put it in the notes just now. A couple months ago. Yeah. It's been out for a while. So I want to start with your quick thoughts, and then I have my quick thoughts, and I have another thing I want to add to that. Yeah. So from what you remember, so songs on it was Wrightville 21, Harold Spinner, Job Maseko, Ski Mask Cologne, A113 with AI The Anomaly, and the last track is called 37 Parallel.
Quick thoughts, because I haven't listened to it in a while.
Yeah.
But I do remember going back to 2 tracks, and it was specifically the tracks where he was talking about his nephew, like his aunt left a voicemail.
Yes.
And basically said, "Oh, say hi to your uncle," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I really love when it's almost like the relatability. So we talked about it a lot in the show. So like you said, we're transitioning to music now, but I think art really sings when it makes people feel relatable, even if they're not from that world.
Yes.
And there's something about the relatability for me, where it's just like, even if you're not in the hood, even if you're not in gangster rap, even if you're not in any of these things, even if you're not Christian, there's something very human about an uncle dedicating an album to a nephew. Yeah. And saying, I want to be the idol or the example that you're proud of. Yeah. And you hear that in every track that he's doing. It's like the underlying narrative of it. I don't understand the ski mask. Obviously, I know what a ski mask is and thing, but it's funny. The ski mask has the picture of his nephew, right? On the side, right? So I don't understand the symbolism. Like, I'm hoping he comes up with a piece of that and saying like why he chose to do that, because I don't get the Right Eye thing either.
I can write that down.
Yeah, of course. But just a quick thought was that I loved it. I replayed it twice actually.
Yes,
it came down the middle of my second repeat.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love narrative. I love when the album is collective as a whole piece, as opposed to individual tracks. I love when there's a theme. I love when and then they double in on their theme. So they never shy away from it. It's just like, you're going to listen to me talk about how I want to be an example for young black men, and you're going to listen to how his purpose in my life motivates me. Like, you're going to hear that for all 7 tracks. You also going to hear some sneak disses in there too, about how people don't understand my lyrics, but it's okay. And they're like, it's just like,
don't mix my lyrics right.
Yeah, so it's like, the fact you didn't try to name, good on you, Selah. But yeah, I loved it, man. It's such an easy listen too. It's really fast. Yeah. And each track is distinct, so you do know when you're going from one track to another. They all have a Selah sound, but it's distinct enough to where you know that you're listening to another piece of the piece of the story.
Right.
But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I would agree. That's the only Christian hip hop album I've listened to. But I do get my sources from JJ. It's almost like he vets it, and he's like, "Tell me what you think about this before we go into thing," because we both have the same taste in music. But Selah, it was an incredible piece. Thank you for dropping it this year. Thank you for completing it. And if there is a Left Eye, we're waiting for that.
Right, there is a Left Eye.
So what are your thoughts?
So the thing that's distinct about that album for me is the production. Like, well, everything's distinct about it. I think everything that Selah does is with a full intentionality. The lyrics that he gave me, I expected it. Like, he didn't do anything lyrically that I wouldn't expect him to do. I think he rapped at a high level. Yeah. I think he stayed within the vibe of what he was trying to convey, and I love the whole nephew narrative that he was pushing, and also the things that he was saying, and very true to his code of ethics, his upbringing, how they affect his code of ethics, how he deals with people, like the whole ski mask cologne. Ski mask often street life, the hood, impoverished environments, and the fact that cologne is something that you smell in a person, so you can almost smell the vibe off of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my guess. So that's why I get ski mask cologne.
But I didn't get that he was a robber at all. And the last time I remember hood symbolism is that ski mask free robber.
But not necessarily him being a robber.
No, like you said, symbolizing their life. But
their life,
interested to see why a ski, like people represent the hood in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if the ski mask is symbolism to him, like maybe that was his childhood. Right.
Well, yeah, because I mean he's part of this whole movement in Christian hip hop known as Gritty CHH, and Gritty CHH, from a sound perspective, it can harken back to artists such as 90s staples like Mobb Deep and CNN and those guys like that, and then in the 2000s the Locks, and then now in the 2020s and 2010s you got the Griseldas, you got the Rome Streets, you got the Ransoms, you got the Chez Noirs, those guys. So it's pretty much street music, you know, rappers that rap from a certain perspective of, I used to hustle in these streets, I used to be locked up in these streets, I used to run down on people on these streets and be ran down on, and you know what I'm saying, I come from that ilk, and I'm rapping about the fact that I used to be in this life, or I'm still in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the music stands for.
So where do you think the Christian comes in with
the Christian part, or for him and a lot of these rappers, is we come from those environments and we rap for people who are still in those environments, but we're trying to bring them to Jesus. So that speaks to their subject matter, that speaks to their beat selection, that speaks to the demeanor, the whole characterization of what they are. And I believe that they're very picky and choosy of who they see as CHH or Gritty CHH or whatever. So that's an interesting point, which I'm going to hit on in a few. But as I wrap up my thoughts on Ski Mask Cologne, I think what was very interesting about this album is the production. I find that the thing with Gritty CHH in certain cases is that, the music is usually great, but I can kind of like hear what the influences are. Or what the sound is. It's like, this feels very Griselda. Yeah, this feels like very much like the Locks. This feels like that. Whereas with Ski Mask, there's production here that I've never heard of any rapper. And I'm a stickler for that. I love that. It's just like, okay. Because the music, for the most part, sounds ominous the whole time. It sounds like, it does not sound like quote-unquote Christian music, right?
It sounds haunting.
It sounds haunting and it sounds ominous. It sounds like I don't want to be in a dark alley when this music is playing. This makes me unsettled.
I was like, what is it with you and haunting rap? Because his favorite song was Meet the Grams.
Right.
Meet the Grams has that haunting song.
I do. Yeah, one of my favorite records is Meet the Grams. Yeah. Alchemist. My gosh. But this is turned up on that level. And I found that that's an interesting soundscape because, again, Selah does certain things and has certain attributes that, again, wouldn't be called stereotypically Christian. But he points to the gospel in his own way by feeding to the fan base that he needs to feed and stuff like that. So I think that this is a nice 25-minute brisk move into it. I will say this though, I do enjoy this album. I love this album. I don't think it's better than Memoirs of a Perfect World, which was the album that he dropped in 2017 and I think is his best work to date. I think it's one of the best rap albums I've ever heard. Secular or Christian. It's like if I had to make a list of the 100 best rap albums I've ever heard in my life, Memoirs of a Perfect World is on it. And it might be in the top 50. That's how good it is. And there's thousands of albums out there. Millions maybe. And I think it's that good. But I think that this is a great return to form for him. I think it's a really solid project. I'm interested in hearing how Left Eye sounds, if there's a Left Eye. But yeah, super solid. And definitely the best project I've heard this year so far. alongside Adam's Constant Surveillance, if we're talking projects overall, but definitely the best album I've heard so far. The one other thing I want to say very quickly is something that came up kind of in conjunction to this, but not really, but it's in the world. I saw recently that a very popular Christian hip hop group known as Indie Tribe, DJ Michael V, the DJ for that group, had some harsh things to say about the 99, which is Selah Squad from Gritty CHH. And I think, to paraphrase, he was asserting that how, Indie Tribe are some of the best lyricists out there despite our popularity. We ain't just dope because of our popularity, we're really dope. And he was doing this kind of thing where he compared the 99 to Flatbush Zombies, and they were the Wu-Tang. So it was almost like, hey, you're low level. I don't know why Flatbush Zombies caught astray. Yeah, Flatbush Zombies are maybe not as big as Wu-Tang, but they are dope. They made an independent mark. And they're the only group that Metallica chose to be on the 35th anniversary of the Black Album with major artists. They didn't call Wu-Tang, they called Flatbush Zombies, along with Chris Stapleton, Elton John, Miley Cyrus, and all the names of that like. So they can't be that bad, So I don't know why Flatbush Zombies called it straight, but that's beside the point. My point is the fact that, hey, this whole idea of who's more lyrical, who's more of a lyricist, who's really that guy, especially in Christian music.
Hold on 1 second. Baby, I'll be right back, okay? Go downstairs for a second, okay? Sylvia? Yeah, just go back downstairs for 1 second, baby. I'm almost done, okay? All right, baby.
Yeah, I feel like the whole idea of like this kind of like feels like a pissing contest, to be honest with you. It's like, it's not that deep. I feel like everybody, this is my personal belief. Lyricism is lyricism. In the sense that if you are following the figurative languages and you can write and you can rap well and you can be inventive in your craft and you can speak something that's powerful to change people's lives, then you're a lyricist. You're not more of a lyricist. You're not more of a lyricist than me if you choose to just do gritty CHH beats. You're not more of a lyricist than me if you choose to do more commercial beats or whatever the case may be. I don't understand, and granted, I'm saying this because DJ Michael V did apologize for his statements because he did realize it was wrong. So I have to give kudos and props to him. But I'm just surprised that that's an argument where I feel like if you're a lyricist, no matter what type of production you do or what type of crew that you're affiliated with, it should all be appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need for that. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I appreciate what Nas does, and I appreciate what MF Doom does, and I appreciate what Andre 3K does, and I appreciate what A$AP Rock does, and I appreciate what Lauryn Hill does. All their styles of hip hop are different in terms of production, in terms of scope, in terms of presentation, but all of them are lyricists. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of what you prefer. So it's, I can be a fan of any tribe and be a fan of the 99 and be a fan of J Moxie or Jerry All-Star or whoever the case may be. Like when I heard that story recently, I was very disappointed. I was just like, really? That's what we're doing? Like, come on, guys. Like, there's no need for that type of infighting within the kingdom if it's really about raising the kingdom. And it's about lyricism and I'll wrap up by saying this. At the end of the day, it's all preference. It's like there's people who don't like Kendrick because of his voice. And you have a right to it. There might be people who don't like Andre 3K because he's Southern and raps with a drawl. And you have a right to it. Doesn't make them any less than who they are. Doesn't make them less worthy because you don't like it. Because you feel you can rap better. Because everyone has a preference. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll say this. Rappers, stop rapping for the rappers. Stop rapping for other rappers or rappers for approval. Make the music to the best of your ability. Obviously, getting respect from your peers is important. Obviously, you want other musical minds in the room to help you craft the best product that you can as an artist, as a lyricist, as a songwriter. But if you are making rap music or making music so that you get validation from other rappers or a certain clique or a certain tier or whatever it is a losing battle. And you're not going to be true to your art because you are now writing for people's preferences as opposed to doing what the heck you need to do. So, stop it.
That was well said. And hopefully the message resonates with whoever needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do things for other people's validation. If it doesn't make you happy, then you probably should stop. And yeah. Definitely promote your own sound, your own authenticity, and your own person. Because that's all you can contribute to the world when everything's said and done. You can only contribute who you are and who you make yourself to be. So, especially in art, though.
Yeah,
art and music, like that is the one thing where it's like that is the most human thing we have. Art is the most human thing we have. Everything else is logic and formula and trying to compute and analyze. But art is not meant to be any of those things. That's why it's called art and science.
Right.
Art is supposed to be strictly human. It's supposed to be strictly, this is what I bring with my life.
Yeah.
This is what I contribute with my essence and my existence. It doesn't need anyone's validation.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, I hope, DJ Michael V, again, I appreciate the apology. I'm glad you kind of like saw the errors of your ways by making those tweets on X and stuff like that. Maybe you should take them down. I don't know, because they're still up there. But, just thought. But, yeah, find a common ground, man. Ain't no need to be jealous of each other or envious of each other. Listen, man, y'all both do really dope work. Y'all can exist in the same space. There's enough souls to reach. There's enough audience out there.